Hi, welcome to Reddit Tea Time. Update. Fiance 27 female threatening to call off wedding if I, 26 male, don't let her parents move in with us after the wedding. The original story is linked in the description below. This will be my only update post available for this subreddit. In the 48 hours since I've posted, that thing took off like a rocket ship. I'd like to start off by thanking everyone for their opinions. While a majority of you told me to leave, others offered compromises, logical alternatives, and gave me questions I didn't even think to ask myself. I'll put a TLDR at the bottom, but I probably won't need it. I think this has been the longest 48 hours of my life. Reading through comments, responding to them, having meetings in real life, and talking with my fiancé have really given me clarity on what my next choices in life are going to be. First, I've postponed the wedding. While some of you may refer to it as calling her bluff, I call it waiting and seeing. As of right now, we're really talking about how compatible we truly are, going over our goals in life again, and talking in depth about the relationship we want with our in-laws if we get married. Apparently, a lot had changed since the last time we talked about it. Before I got money, some of you called it. Second, yes, she genuinely thought moving her parents in would make my relationship with them better over time. I've expressed that as a result of all they've said and done to me, any positive relationship or communication with them will only be done out of necessity. For example, if she was pregnant, in the hospital, or any life-altering complications or celebration. She didn't take this well, but that was expected, and it's important I tell her the truth. She believes I'll come around and try to build a relationship with her parents, but as of right now, I can't see myself doing it. Third, my parents won't be moving in as I haven't even asked them yet. I know some of you were confused and assumed it was already happening. It was not. I asked if it was okay if they could, not telling her it was happening. Some of you suggested that maybe moving them in as newlyweds was weird and suggested building them a small house on the property. I didn't think about that and will talk to my accountant and parents about it whenever that conversation needs to be talked about. Nice idea, Reddit strangers. Fourth, what have I been doing? A lot of meetings about my future, finances, and setting up trusts and wills. I'll be re-enrolling into school to take classes on business, finances, accounting, and economics as my accountant suggested I do. We're still working on a budget, but as of right now, my next steps are furthering my education to manage my newfound wealth and opportunity in a healthy way as not to blow it. As of right now, to be honest, I'm emotionally drained. I think the weight of my grandfather's death is finally hitting me despite it being months later, and the only thing that kept me going was the idea of the wedding day. With that being postponed, I can really only focus on myself, my values, and my emotions. Staying up all night and drinking at a gravesite isn't healthy, and I've not only promised myself to cut back on the booze, but also not stay up drinking. I've been thinking about getting into some sort of therapy or grief counseling, but I'd need to make sure that's in the budget with my accountant as that's a long-term thing. Maybe they know someone. Fifth, couples counseling. To those that suggested it, that's a wonderful idea. However, I'm not sure if I can move past her strange dependent relationship with her parents. Initially, I thought I could, but with the rose-tinted goggles off, I'm starting to see a lot of red flags I'm not too confident a therapist or wedding can solve. We both have issues we need to work through, but right now, I'm not sure if we'll be working through them together. I know a lot of you said to drop the relationship, but I think after 6 years, it's worth giving it a try to save it. Making a choice like that without trying to fix the problem seems silly, but I did expect a lot of those answers to come through. It's just how Reddit is. Just know that I know my worth, I know my values, and I'm not backing down. Maybe we won't work things out and the relationship will just end. Maybe things will work out and we can continue. At least for now, 48 hours later, it's too soon to tell. Sixth, as for the prenup, we haven't signed anything yet. A lot of you were really harping on the nice ring and fancy vacations once a year thing. While the vacations compromise is indeed concerning, the ring issue is something we've been having conflict on for a while. My personal opinion before and now is that rings are overpriced, silly, and serve no significant purpose in a relationship. She says that they're an important symbol of love and commitment. The compromise to the prenup in regards to the ring was I actually buy her a better ring than I already had, which sounds super predatory in those words, but it makes sense in my mind. She doesn't want a Titanic heart of the ocean style jewelry piece, just something a bit more noticeable. I probably should have elaborated on that in my original post, but hey, We all make mistakes, which to some sounds like gold digger mentality, but I know the price range of the ring she wants, and it's about the same range my dad spent on my mom's ring. It's something you'd see on a middle-class woman's finger. Nothing huge, nothing small, just enough, I guess. I still think they're just silly circles of metal and compressed dirt. There's not much to say. We sat down, talked for a while. I explained my side of things, she explained hers. She was upset I was postponing the wedding, but once she realized I wasn't going to fold, she agreed under the notion that it was best for our relationship to work on this before marriage. Right now, I'm taking a step back from her to clear the air and give us time to formulate what we want on our own. I've driven the 2 hours to the cabin. Thankfully, the internet people hooked that up yesterday. I've talked to my parents, not about them like moving in, but about the situation as a whole. Leaving out, I went to the internet before I went to them. While my dad can't just abandon his job, he sends his love and support. My mom is currently making the 18-hour drive, so I wouldn't be alone by myself. I've gotten attempted phone calls from the in-laws within the last 24 hours, but I've watched them ring and went back to doing my everyday tasks like lawn work, meal prep, reading, binge-watching Netflix. It's strange, but right now I feel happier alone than I did with my fiancé. Maybe it's some sign that it's not meant to be, or that I've finally been able to relax for the first time in years and have found comfort in solitude. Maybe I'm happy my mom is going to cook me my favorite dinner as a child to cheer me up. I think as of right now, though, I have a lot of work to do, not only emotionally but also literally. I'm thinking about doing some telework just to still have a mainstream source of income part-time, as I'll probably get bored of being jobless in about a week. I need some hobbies. Now for some comments. She's upset you postponed the wedding, but she was the one threatening to cancel the wedding if you didn't agree to her parents moving in with you. So you know it was an empty threat to make you bend. Regarding the idea of building a house for your parents beside yours instead of having them move in, I think it's the right thing to do. Even if you all are nice to each other, I think it's better each couple have their own space. This way you can choose to spend time together or not, and therefore you will really cherish the moments all together. Kindly, you may want to refrain from making love with her at this point. Nothing binds two people legally like a child does. You're falling for the sunk cost fallacy. Make sure you get a prenup, a solid one that she signs of her own free will. Talk to your lawyer. OP, you need grief counseling. Between losing your grandpa and your fiancé pushing you to have a relationship with her parents and living with them, you're dealing with a lot. She's 100% wrong that living with people you hate will fix things. It will not, and in fact, it will make it worse. Do not live with her parents or yours. When you get married, you don't want others living with you. You'll have no privacy. Newlyweds should be just enjoying their lives together alone and do whatever they want. ETA, stop having sex because there's a very good chance she'll end up pregnant to get you to marry her. She's thinking you have one foot out the door and will do anything to keep you and marry you. DNA test the miracle baby in your future before signing the birth certificate. I just looked at the headline and the TLDR and say, it's better not to marry at all than get married and get a divorce later. It seems that your fiancé is blind to how dysfunctional and toxic her parents are. I suggest she get individual counseling. Note, we're all influenced by how we've been raised. If we're raised by toxic parents, then there are unconscious beliefs and behaviors that will show up in our lives. I wonder what kind of parents-in-law type behavior or thinking she has exhibited to you. Good to recognize before marrying her, which is a separate thing than moving the in-laws in with you two. Weddings do not solve problems. It's the same problems multiplied in a relationship that now requires lawyers to end. Solve all of this long before you have a wedding, if you have a wedding, and you probably shouldn't. The fact you feel so much better without her says it all, OP. You were both still pretty young when you got together. People grow and mature a lot, most anyway, and not always in the same direction. The fact you now have a lot of money changes things as well, unfortunately, and not necessarily for the better. Her relationship with her parents is not going to change. Again, listen to your gut. Your current feelings are telling you something. 6 years is nothing compared to the rest of your life, which would easily still be 50 or 60 years. These 6 years aren't a waste of time. They're a part of life and relationship experience. Not many people marry their first love anymore, and that's probably a good thing. If you cannot see yourself for the rest of your life with the person she is today, then she's not for you. Don't date potential, because people rarely will actually live up to their potential. She is who she is, and she's not going to change.
What do you think? Please let me know in the comments below. If you liked this story and you've made it this far, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate you spending your valuable time with me. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next Reddit story. In the meantime, please take care of yourself. Bye for now.